Hey everybody, Mike from Spectre Comics. Today's step-by-step how to draw tutorial is of Naruto. Now the image on the screen will be the reference for the drawing we're going to do today. I'll try to make this drawing as easy to follow as possible. Now let's grab some of the tools we need for the drawing. You'll need a paper, pencil, and an eraser. Pretty easy tools. Anything I use for my art is linked in the description below, so go check that out if you need anything. Now I do take requests for future videos, so if you have any characters you want to learn how to draw and want me to break it down, go ahead and put that in the comments below, and it may become a future video. Now let's get into the drawing.
Okay, so we're going to start this drawing. We're going to just look at the page, and we're going to try to figure out where to place the character on the page. And I usually start by drawing where the head would be, and I just usually indicate that with a circle. So to fit the character on the page, we're just going to draw a circle to indicate where the head is going to be. Keep these early lines really light because we're going to erase them later. You know, as we fill in the detail and darken the lines, we're going to be able to erase these early lines, which are just really defining the shape of our character. So head there, and then I'm going to draw a line for the body. So in this pose, Naruto is standing quite vertical, and so there's not a lot of wave to his body. So I'm going to just kind of identify that. And then once we get down to kind of about the waist area, I'm going to draw a waist box to kind of indicate where the torso ends. And we're going to draw kind of a waist, kind of a shape. Again, just defining, you know, the pose he's in. Okay? So we've got that kind of created. And then he's got one leg kind of coming down here. Again, we're just drawing guidelines right now. And I'm going to just draw a circle to indicate his knee. And then on this leg, just going to indicate that. So he's got two spread out legs. Now in the pose he's in, his feet are back, so he's kind of bending. It's almost like he's in a jumping pose, so you're not going to really see much of the leg. So I'm going to kind of indicate kind of a calf there, and then the foot kind of comes down like this. So we'll just kind of indicate that. Okay. Again, we're just defining the pose, and we'll make adjustments as we go. And then this leg kind of comes back, and you can see it a little more just because of the angle. So it kind of angles a little more like this, and then the foot kind of goes off in this direction. So we're going to just draw an oval to indicate the foot that goes off in that direction. And as we start to add the detail, we'll cover up some of this stuff, and you know, with this little kind of skeleton we're drawing to define the pose. Now let's go back to the upper body, and we're gonna, you know, look at the image, and he's kind of twisting. So we've got his neck here. Just indicate a neck, and then his torso's kind of twisting. And in this case, I'm going to start with the shoulders. He's got one shoulder kind of up, indicate a circle right about here. And we're going to take a line down across to kind of indicate that his shoulder's twisting. And then the back shoulder, his left shoulder, is kind of down over here. And then his chest, a lot of times with a torso like this, I like to indicate kind of like where the rib cage would be. The rib cage would be kind of like this. We're going to just draw kind of a oval type shape here, kind of like that. And then the center of the chest kind of goes like this. Okay, so if we were drawing like actual ribs, it'd be kind of like this, that. So his body's kind of twisting, shoulders like that, this shoulder's like this, and this arm kind of goes back behind, and the hand sticks out here. So I'll just indicate that with a guideline here. Take a line down, and then the elbow's down here, and then the hand kind of comes out here. And I'll draw a circle for the hand, indicating, because he's got like a little ball of light in this hand. And then this hand, kind of like up here, kind of at shoulder height, his arm comes down to the elbow, and then bends back up to the shoulder. Okay. There's a little foreshortening here, meaning you're seeing this at a sharp angle towards the camera. And here, we've got some fingers that are going to come off that, and the thumb kind of goes in front like that. So that's the basic pose. And I'm going to use this as a guide to draw the next set of lines and the detail. Feel free to kind of clean this up. Anything that's hidden, or kind of start erasing some of the guidelines, like this spine here, bicep of the back arm, you're not really going to see. Okay, and so that kind of twists like that. Okay, so now let's get back to the head. Now he's got a little bit of a neck, kind of goes up here, And his face is kind of elongated, so it's not so much a circle. The circle really just indicates where the face is, but we're going to bisect the face. The face is pretty much straight on, but it's tilting slightly to the right. So I'm going to take a little guideline here to bisect the face. We're going to take a line across to indicate the eye line. We've got the nose, and then the mouth, which is open, and that elongates the face. So we're actually going to draw the mouth. So I'm going to take a line across here, take a line down on an angle like that, line down like that, and then it kind of comes back in like that, down, and then we're going to close off the mouth. Okay, so that's kind of the mouth. And then I'm going to kind of go back in, start erasing the circle, and start defining more of the shape of the face. Okay, so use my brush to erase some of the eraser shavings, and we're going to take the face down into more of the shape that it actually is. So I'm going to take 2 lines down on either side. And then when I get to the mouth area, I'm going to bend the line in and come down towards the chin. So on this side, I'm going to come down to the left here. Erase this line, and we're going to take this line down and come down to the right. So you got the jawline, again it bends at the jawline, again the mouth is open, elongated the face, and then we're going to come down towards the area where the chin would be. And if the lines look a little off or not quite right once you start drawing them, feel free to erase and fix as you go. Okay, so I've got that, I'm coming down, and then I'm going to bring it together. The chin is a little wide, so we can kind of keep it like that. And now we're closing off the face there. Okay, now he does have a turtleneck as part of his jacket, and the turtleneck does kind of overlap the chin. So I'm just going to take a line down, overlapping the bottom of the chin. We're going to curve a line up and then take it down, and then we'll add the little rivets in the turtleneck later. It's going to kind of come down like that. Okay. Again, starting to erase some of the sketchy lines that we started with. Okay. So we've got the face started, and we're refining. Okay. Now I want to. Doesn't really have a nose. He has 2 little nostrils. I'm just going to indicate those right about there. 2 little curved lines up. And then now I'm going to erase the eye guideline so we can actually put the eyes in, but you can still see it. You can still see the guidelines lightly. So he's kind of in a yelling mode, and his eyebrows are down, kind of like angry. So we're going to draw the bottom of the eyes right about here, midway between the top of the mouth and the eye line here. Draw some straight lines to indicate the bottom of the eye. Do that on both sides. And in these anime characters, they don't really draw the line of the eye all the way around. It's usually, you see the bottom of the eye and the top, but then it's left open, and the only difference is the color change between the eye and the face. So now we're going to curve the line up on the left eye, up and around. And on the right, same thing, up and around. Okay. And then we can take his eyebrows down. It's like a double line, and then up. Goes up in the middle. Do the same thing. Down, double line, and then up. Okay. And then we're going to draw his pupils, and it looks like he's kind of looking slightly off to the left. So we're going to finish the eye. And he does have a little kind of a return here. And same thing on the other side. And actually, it's a little dark here, so I'm going to fix this. Clean that up. line down and up, and then a return. And now the pupils, the iris and the pupil on the left side here on the right eye. It's a little more to the left. And on the right, make sure the bottom of the eyes are at the same location, same height on the face. And a little more central, but still slightly to the left, looking to the left. So the face is still a little square, so I'm going to smooth it out and redraw this line. In the temple area, I'm going to bend here and kind of curve it down towards the chin area, like that. Okay. We can go back to the mouth real quick. And even elongate it a little more, just to get more, just a little bit. Curve it down, a little bit longer. And then the teeth are going to kind of come around like that. Bottom teeth, straight across. Curved line like that. And then we'll just draw the tongue in the background. Little curved line here. And like that. Okay, so it's starting to come together. And I'm going to, again, refine the face. Just so it looks a little better. Bend it in, curve it around. And starting to come together. Now, I'm going to erase the top of the circle for the head. Create a little neck extension there that goes into the turtleneck. Same on the other side. Like that. And now we want to draw his headband. And the headband kind of curves up and around over the eyes. In fact, it covers some of the eyebrow, so it's right about here. And right about here, and it's going to curve up and over. Like this. Okay? And it's going to go about down here. Curve the line up and over. And then once we get kind of the side of the head, we're going to go just past the face, take the line down, and finish it off there. So it looks like it's going around the head. And it's wrapping around the head. Same thing on this side. Take a little line out. There you go. Okay, so that's the headband. And then he's got his little seal on a metal plate that's on the headband. So we're going to add line at the top, line at the bottom. Just follow the curve of the headband. Go about the width of the eyes and take the line down. Same on this side. Okay. That's that. Okay, so now you've got pretty much the headband. The headband actually extends on the left side, around, a little further around his head. So I'm going to take it a little further. You can actually see some hair that comes down here. Okay. As the headband kind of goes around his head, it gets a little skinnier, a little thinner at the back. You've got his ear, which comes right up here. So I'm going to just draw a little oval here and reconnect it back to the side of the face. And go straight in. And then just draw some detail in the ear. A little line curve at the top. A little circle here. And then just a line like that. And that's pretty much the ear. And on this side you see less of his ear because his face is slightly turned to the right here. The headband looks like it's extending a little too far on this side, so I'm going to fix that. I'm actually going to angle it up. Okay, so it's going to kind of angle like that. Looks a little better. Okay. And then this ear, you see less of the ear on this side, but make sure they're even, right across. And finish that area. And you don't see much detail in the ear, it's just really the edge of it, and that's kind of the face. Okay. And then we'll take some lines out for the little whiskers he's got. Whisker lines. And same thing on this side, 3 lines down the cheek. Like that. Okay. The thing that really makes this look right would be getting the hair right. So now we've got most of the face drawn. We're going to look at the hair and see where. So we know there's a piece that kind of comes down like this, angles down, covers part of the seal on his headband, angles down like that, and then angles down like this here, not as far, but just create these little upside down triangles, and then I'm going to erase the line behind from the headband. There we go. Okay, and then on this side, he's got a piece of hair that comes down like this. Kind of covers the corner of the headband. And there's a little overlap here. So this piece is going to go up like this. There's going to be a little piece that comes down right here on the edge. Kick that back like this. Okay, and then on the side of the head, not quite down as far as the ear, but right about here, the hair that kind of sticks out in the back. Okay, angle it up, curve it over like this, and then back up. There you go. And then it starts to stick up now, so we're going to go a little more out. And like that. And then going back to this side, right about here. It goes down and back. Again, more triangles. He's just got really spiky hair. And then back towards the headband. Now this hair is behind, it goes behind the headband. And then we start spiking it up over here. So up, down. And the higher you go up on the head, the bigger the pieces of hair go, the points. So I'm going to kind of draw this in and then look at it once it's done and make any adjustments I need to. Okay, and then he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spikes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 2 more. And it goes over like this, and then one that goes up like this, and I'm going to return it like that. Okay, that's pretty close. I might fix that later. Back and clean up the lines. And this doesn't need to extend like that. Okay, so that, I think I drew the hair a little too high. We'll come back and fix that in a bit. Let's get more of the body going. Okay, so now, head-wise, I think the head may be too large for the body size I did for this skeleton, but let's keep going and see how it goes. Now we've got the shoulder here. Shoulder kind of comes over like this, and then the fabric kind of twists in front of the neck, right here, like this. Okay, so we're drawing like that. And then there's a lot of folds in the clothes. Again, when you're drawing clothing, it's good to have the base structure of the body underneath so that you can see how the folds go as he's twisting his body. There's a lot of ripples on his jacket as he's twisting back. So I'm going to kind of start taking those lines back. And then some more ripples. So they go across the arm like this. First, to draw the bottom of the arm, the elbow comes down here, goes up, and then it returns back to the body. Now, his torso is really long, it's tall, so let's draw kind of like the side of his jacket here. So as this arm kind of comes back, I'm going to just take these lines down around the rib cage, and the jacket seems to widen. He's got a very straight torso, he's kind of very straight and upright. So I'm just going to take these lines down, and then when I get down to about the waist area, his jacket kind of bulges, and it's going to fold back. So I'm going to do that and connect those. And sometimes I exaggerate the shapes, but we can go back and fix that. So that's kind of the right side, his right side. I'm going to go in now and start erasing some of the lines underneath as we're starting to define more of the detail of the body. That's where this thin eraser comes in really well, because it's like a mechanical pencil, but it's got a very thin head. You can go in and do some precision erasing. So I really like that. And then I can keep my regular lines not disturbed. Arm's a little too thin here, so I'm going to go redraw that. All right, so now it's got like a zipper on the turtleneck part, and then it ripples up, and I'm going to go down his chest, down his jacket. So we're following the line of the center of the rib cage here. And we're going to just take that line, and it kind of ripples as it's going down. I'm just kind of using it to define the jacket, and then there's a bulge in his coat right here, and it stops, and then it goes down the waist. Again, erasing the little sketchy rib cage we drew earlier. It's really starting to come together. You're really starting to see the detail. Okay, so the turtleneck comes down about here, and then as this line kind of curves down, on the other side it kind of starts curving back up. And there is some little hair kind of back here, and on this side as well. There you go. Okay, now, again, his shoulder is twisted, so this shoulder is in the foreground and this shoulder is in the background. Take a little line here, and his shoulder kind of comes out a little bit. I'm just going to curve a line down. And now, the right side of his body, we're going to go along the rib cage again. Draw the jacket straight down, so you can see the light lines of the rib cage still underneath. Take that lines down. And he does seem to have, as these lines are coming across, creating ripples in the jacket, take the line down and show this fold in the jacket. And again, I'm following the drawing, but try to make sure you understand where there's bends and folds in the fabric. Kind of bulges out here like this, so we're going to just bulge it at the bottom. And then it ties into a band at the bottom of the jacket, which we're going to use to surround his waist. This comes out, and it goes up and then over, and goes down, like that. Okay. Again, erasing those lines that are light and behind from our initial sketch. I mean, drawing is a process. You try to figure out where the lines go, you follow your reference drawing, and we're going to take the band over the waist. So we're going to follow this curve, and it goes around the waist like this, and it comes back up here. I always clean up as I go. Just makes it easier to see what you're drawing, because it can get a little messy if you keep all your guidelines. Okay, so now this shoulder, again, here's kind of like the space between his neck and his shoulder. Comes down like that, and the shoulder comes out a little bit, and goes down, and then the arm fades behind the jacket here. So you see a little bit of his arm until it comes back. And you see the sleeve on his left hand, which is behind him, come out like right there, and then his hand is going to come out of the sleeve, and we'll draw that in a bit. Okay, so now I'm going to erase the waist box that we drew as kind of a guide early on. And he is twisted a little bit, so we're going to draw kind of like the center of the pants, kind of like where the fly would be. And then we're going to draw the hip on the right side here, off, again, underneath the band of the jacket. It's going to come straight down here. And then on this side, this actually should go out a little further. This band should be a little more out here. So we're going to fix that now. It's going to kind of come down around like that because it goes around the pants. And this line we're going to fix as well. So bulge the coat up a little bit, stick out, and then it's going to return like that. And then this line comes straight down. And that's the coat, and we'll add a little detail, like the different colors. There'll be a line that comes down. There are more ripples in the coat that I want to show, but this band can kind of help with that. And this band here, and it'll bulge. It'll follow the curve of the zipper that's bulging in the middle, and then take the line down. And you can kind of tell how this line is and how this line is, that he is twisting to the right here. And then this will come from around and down, and that's the variation of the color and the jacket. And the zipper's actually a double line, so we'll just draw a little zipper up here, and then a double line for the zipper. And if you want to, you can even draw the little lines to indicate the zipper. Okay, so that's the jacket. So that's the sleeve, the jacket. We'll fix this hand in a bit. I want to get a little more of the waist done. Okay, so the space between the bottom of the jacket and the bottom of his pants, kind of like where the pants split to go to each leg, is pretty long. It's almost as if the camera's like way down here looking up. So he's actually very wide at the bottom comparative to if it was a straight on shot. But let's draw the fly. I'm just gonna come down to about here. Basically the fly of his pants. And it'll kind of come to a point at the bottom here before the fabric starts folding over. He's got his hip, and the fabric folds over here. And it goes all the way down to the center. So we're going to take it down like that. So curve a line down from right about here on the hip, down to here, and this is going to actually fold into the leg over here. So again, our guideline for the leg is here, and for this leg is here. We're using that as a guideline for how the fabric goes over the leg. So on this leg, I'm just going to take a double line here, kind of showing the folds in the clothes as we go. Get rid of that little indicator. Pants fold up here. Take a line from the bottom, and it's going to kind of go up in the pants like this. I'm going to delete. I'm going to, not on a computer, but I'm going to erase the guideline of the leg, kind of have an idea of where it is. I know my knee is here. It probably could go a little further. It's probably more like down here. So if I was just to draw the leg without worrying about the fabric, I would kind of take it like this. And now that I know where the leg is, I can worry about how the fabric folds over it. Okay, and he does have this wrap around his leg. So I'm just going to indicate that with several curved lines. There's a little bit of overlap. It's like it's bandages or something. And he's got a black band in the middle. And then another white band and another white band. And those are really sketchy at this point. We can go back and clean those up in a bit. Now with that, there are some folds and then some ripples as his knee bends down a little bit. So another thing we can do is to make these not as even. Not as if they're in the same plane, because they are wrapping over each other. So we can change the placement of them so they look like they're folding over each other. Thickness here. And then clean up some of these extra lines in here and make them more solid. Okay, he does have some ripples on his pants here. There is a line here indicating the seam of the pants, and it kind of ripples with his pants. His leg is bent backwards, and I'm just going to draw the bottom of the cuff in the calf area, and then it continues up right towards the knee, kind of like this. And you don't really see much of that part of his leg. I'm going to erase it here to look like it's continuous. So his knee bends down and curls back, and then you're going to see his foot. Let's go back to this side of the pants. This is kind of like the back side, his posterior, his buttocks, the seam of his pants. Another line comes down off this side of the band on the jacket. He's got a little pocket here, so I'm going to just curve a line from that seam up and do kind of a double line, indicate the two layers of that pocket, like that. And then the pants do fold here. Now his leg, I have it coming off here, but it's kind of coming off right here. This is like where the leg meets the waist, the hip. Okay, so we're gonna draw that leg and take it a little further. This leg is in the forefront, so it's gonna be a little larger than this one, a little thicker. I'm gonna thicken this leg a little bit. There's a little ripple in the pant here. Take that line like that. Now the knee is gonna be way down here. So the knee, in relation to this knee, is a little further down. And then here's where we curve up, like that. So fold in the pants, and then the leg comes out like this. Pant curves up here, so we're drawing both sides of the leg. This line is not really here, it was just a guide to show where the pants come off, or where the leg comes off the hip. And then where do I want to put his knee? I kind of want to curve it like down here. It's not a straight like curve, it kind of has a couple of bends in it. So curve a line down, and we're going to curve it up. And the knee is going to be a little wrap here, and then it'll come off here. There's a couple of folds in the pants, and we're going to do that. Take the line up. Erase this line, erase this extra stuff. Okay, and then he does have a little, looks like a little carrying case behind him. It's coming off his back. It's attached to the back of his pants. So we're going to just draw that curved line back here. It's got two lines on the seam of it, and then it folds over like this and back. Okay, so we got that detail in. We got the pants detailed. You don't even see this side of the pocket, although you might see a little bit there if this was real. Again, feel free to go back, refine any lines you need to. Everybody draws at their own pace, so if you need to stop the video and catch up, feel free to do that. You can pause, follow along with the drawing. Now the foot here, you're not going to see the calf at all, or the shin, but you are going to see the foot sticking out from the back. So we're just going to draw a foot shape, kind of right off the bottom of the knee here. And you really see it straight on as if you're standing up and looking down at your feet. And so I'm just indicating the shape of the foot. We can add the detail. He's got a little wrap here, but then you do see his toes. So we're going to draw those in, the big toe, and then his little toes. And after the second toe, they all kind of fold over each other, so they're actually don't draw toes all that much. Never really have an opportunity to. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they just kind of wrap. And then there's just drew a little curve at the end just to indicate the nail. And this one's big enough that you'd actually see the top of it, so kind of like that. And this leg's bothering me because it's very skinny, so I'm actually gonna redraw the bottom of it. So I'm just going to erase this here. And now that we have this leg as a comparison on the paper, we can go ahead and kind of figure out where to fix. And his pants are baggy, so I think it's even going to come off like that. And then it'll be a little slight bend in the fabric here, and it's going to get wrapped. So the wrap's going to extend down. That looks a little better. And then the knee might still be a little too close. So I'm going to extend that off a little bit. I've got a ripple here in the pant as it bends. This is the area behind the knee. Okay, and then the seam of the pants. I'm going to draw the seam here. And it continues under the wrap and then out here. And then it kind of comes to a point because now we're going to bend back. This is the behind the knee. I'm going to take this line down a little further, and we're going to bring it all the way out here. So this is a little further than it was before. Extend the leg to the knee, curve it down, and then this line is going to go, and it's going to wrap around. So we're going to just take it down and around, and it will actually intersect right before it gets to the wrap. So like right about there. Now you do see a little more of this foot, including the heel. And then we see the heel, and the heel starts here. So I'm going to curve this around for the shoe. Step in the heel, and then there's a little flat area, and then it kind of curves down, and then towards the toes. So kind of like that. Now the toes kind of curve around, and then half of them are hidden behind the knee here. So we're just curving the shoe up towards that, and then there's a little band, and then the toes are exposed. And then the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, and it'll curl under. It'll just indicate the curve of the shoe, just slightly. Toenail, 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 toenail. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, now what do we have left to do? We still have to do the arms. Let's go back to the neck area, indicate some of the little bumps on the turtleneck here. So erase the curvy line, and we'll just kind of add these in like this. Indicate a couple of lines like it meets up right there, like that. And then we'll do the same on this other side. Just one bump here. It goes down and curves up like that. Okay, so now you got the zipper, you got the little bumps in the ribbed turtleneck area. And then this hand, and he's holding a little, let's draw the wrist coming out of the sleeve there. And then his hand, so I'm not going to see much of the hand because it's covered by this light ball. And you're going to see the pinky finger, so I'm going to just kind of do a crooked line like that. And then I'm going to do the other end of the hand where you see just a little bit of the thumb. And the rest is covered. And we're going to just draw this ball of light. Indicate the ball of light. It'll be more fun to color this in later, so we can get all these little color details in. But yeah, it's just gonna kind of be like that. Okay, so I think we got most of this. Now, the hard part is going back to this arm and fixing this area. So because the arm is outstretched, it actually connects a little bit with the sleeve here. So I'm gonna widen this here at the lat area. Rid of this guideline. And again, this, so we've got the shoulder that comes up, down, and goes across the neck. There's also a couple of other lines like this. There's a little seal over here. Little patch on his arm. Looks like two lines here. And then a swirl. I'm just going to curve a line around and create the swirl, and then the back of the patch, which just fades in the background. And let's go back and draw the little insignia on his band up here. It's just a curved, looks like a swirl, like this, with a little extension in the corner. Okay, simple enough. All right, now, getting very close to the end. The hardest hand. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I don't love drawing hands because I'm just not good at it, but we're going to do our best and try to follow along. So the hand is going to be, it's obviously going to be, this hand's kind of in the background, this hand's in the foreground. This hand's going to be a little bigger. So I'm going to start by just drawing kind of like a square that's a little curved. Got curved edges here to indicate the palm of the hand. I'm going to draw it a little bigger. And it's on an angle because his hand's kind of angled. And this kind of represents the bottom of the hand. Kind of where there's a little bulge here. And then this thumb is coming down. So off the side of the hand, draw an angle, draw the bend in the thumb, and always remember that each finger has 3 segments. So 1, 2, 3, and think about that when you're drawing the fingers and which angle they're at. So this thumb is kind of bending down like this, but it widens out at the bottom. So the thumb has kind of bend in the thumb, but it's pretty wide, kind of like that. that. Draw the little fingernail, little thumbnail. So right about here, right where this bulge is, just draw a line up. And these are the lines of the hand. And then here, this kind of represents the center of your hand here. Like that. And then this is actually going to curve a little bit higher up. So off this top of your hand, and then this is the bottom of the hand. And that's where it connects to the wrist. So we're just going to draw a line here because the sleeve is going to come down and around and go up like that. Okay, I'm just going to make it look like a thick fabric, and then the line of the forearm goes down into the elbow, which is down here, and off of the thumb, just to complete the arm. And we're just going to keep overlapping the fabric here like that. And there we go. Okay, so that's the arm, and you got your shoulder, bicep, forearm, and now we're going into the hand. So let's complete the hand by drawing the top of the fingers, and the way that this is indicated is actually the hand kind of curls over and it comes down. So the top of the hand, if we were to draw it without the fingers, kind of curls down, and then back up like that. And then the fingers are going to be indicated, and I'm just going to draw lines to indicate where the fingers are. So one finger is going to be up, and then it bends down like that. And this finger is a little more curved, and it bends over like that. And then these fingers start overlapping each other just because of the angle. So this finger's going to go up and curl down like this, and then this finger's almost straight at you. And it curves down like that, okay? So if I was to go in and just add the detail of the fingers, erase this line here. This finger is going to go down and continue right down into the thumb. So it's going to curve, there's going to be a little bend here, and it goes right into the thumb. You can see my pencil's kind of smudging. This lead is pretty soft, and when I run my hand over the page, it tends to smear the pencil. A harder lead, which gives you a little more brittle of an experience drawing. I don't love drawing with a hard pencil because the lines are very thin, but it doesn't smear as much. So just consider that when you're choosing a lead. All right, here again, using the precision eraser to keep intact the final lines. Okay, let's just finish up this hand and then we're good. We're done. All right, so this hand here kind of comes out and curves back down and then comes back. Okay, and then this one curls up and over, and comes back down. And then more of this one is hidden, but then it comes back down. And then this one, you don't even see where it hits, or it really comes off the hand. Attaches there. Fingernails, like that. It gets wider at the bottom. Fingers are skinnier at the tip and wider at the bottom where they connect to the hand. This hand is not great, I'm going to be honest. I need a lot of work on my hands. I will fix this later, but you get the gist. In fact, this hand is, not only is it not great, it is actually darn awful. But off camera, I will work on it, fix it, make it a little better, but you get the idea. And this is pretty much our Naruto drawing. He could be a little taller and skinnier, think maybe his hair is a little too tall, but that's how you draw him.
So here is my final pencil drawing of Naruto. Now, if you want to see the colored version, I did a Posca Markers short. That'll be pinned in the comment section below. Again, if you have any characters you want to learn how to draw and you want me to break it down, put that in the comment section below. I will try to make a future video of it. Thank you for watching, like, subscribe, and if you can't get enough art tutorials, why don't you check out this video right here.